The parents of missing South Australian boy Gus Lamont have broken their silence in a heart-wrenching plea for help to find their son.
Never before seen video of the curly-haired, adventurous boy has just been released by police. The small clip shows the 4-year-old on a balance bike pushing his way up a hill at Oak Park Station, almost exactly the same spot from where he disappeared from out the front of his family homestead near Yunta.
If you look carefully at this footage, if you look closely at it, you see Gus on the road on the other side of that metal cattle grid that we've seen so many times right outside the entrance to the Oak Park Station. We've seen law enforcement vehicles passing over that. You'll notice it's dusk, late in the day, and Gus is doing what so many little boys do at that age, playing on a bicycle in the road. He could, of course, have been doing this on the day he died as well.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear thoughts build up until I can't breathe. My mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear.
Almost exactly the same spot from where he disappeared from out the front of his family homestead near Yunta.
I wouldn't call it almost the same spot. It's near the same spot, perhaps a few dozen feet from where we see some of those mounds. By the way, have you seen that image? It's an aerial shot of the homestead. There's actually a figure standing at the left corner on the porch. Has anyone noticed that? But anyway, this footage adds another dimension to what we were told, that Gus was playing outside on a dirt mound, but basically playing on dirt. Could he have been playing on dirt on his bike or simply riding his bike? This clip also adds another dimension to Gus, doesn't it? For 5 months, we've just seen a single static photo of the little boy. Here in this footage, he seems more fully formed. We get to see the hat that apparently he was wearing at the time as well. And there's something very real and sad and terrible about seeing him moving, dynamic and capable, and yet knowing that something terrible must have happened after this. One also wondered who shot this footage. Jess probably. And weren't we told that Gus was wearing a blue shirt, a blue Minion shirt, when he disappeared? Well, in the footage, that's not a blue Minion shirt, it's a blue jumper. And you can see it must be fairly cold out, that's why he's wearing a long sleeve shirt. And that also tells you something. If Gus went missing wearing a t-shirt, could it really have been that late in the day? Sunset, round about this time? Or did he actually go missing earlier that day, or perhaps some other day completely? We would also like to know when this footage was shot. Sunset, yes, but when and on which day? We've also seen another of Gus's bikes propped against the wall of Josh's property in Bilali North. Now, according to the Nightly, Gus Lamont's devastated parents have broken their silence. They've released new images of their 4-year-old son and issued a desperate plea for answers nearly 5 months after he vanished. Just thinking about it like that, it's taken them 5 months to issue a plea. Think about the Nancy Guthrie case, where how long did it take Savannah Guthrie to issue her plea? Wasn't it literally a few days later in person? And since then she's released several additional pleas. The beautiful little boy with blonde curly hair disappeared from Oak Park Station, a remote South Australian sheep station where his grandparents live, on September 27th. On Tuesday, this is towards the end of February, his parents, Jess and Josh, issued an emotional plea as police investigations continue. We are united in our grief, and we are united in our search for answers about what happened to our little boy Gus, who means everything to us. Look at that word that is repeated there, united. That is the word that stands out. It's unclear whose idea it was not to speak to the media one time in 5 months, or whose idea it was not to release any additional footage of Gus. What is frankly a little surprising is that this is a joint statement from both parents. It really does feel a little like it's now a situation of the parents versus the grandparents, even if neither Jess nor Josh make any inferences or references to either Josie or Shannon. Now, it's also clear that Josie and Shannon are united in whatever's going on with them, isn't it? The main difference is one of the sides of the equation in the story is regarded as a suspect, or one individual on one of the sides is regarded as a suspect, and they still live on the property, and Gus is likely somewhere around there. While the other side is regarded as innocent, both individuals, they've moved out. And they are speaking out and essentially breaking with a protocol that seems to have been in place. In their statement, they say, "Our lives have been shattered, and every moment without Gus is unbearable." The statement goes on,
"We know someone out there may have information. If someone knows what happened, we are pleading with that person or anyone who may have seen or heard anything to please come forward. Even the smallest detail could give us the answers we so desperately need."
I can't help wondering whether the South Australian police are taking a leaf out of the Nancy Guthrie case, and possibly even Josh and Jess. I wonder whose idea it was to release this information in this way. Because in releasing footage to the public, it certainly raises a lot more awareness than simply a statement. This new footage of Gus is definitely going to tug at people's heartstrings. Who knows, it may even tug at the heartstrings of the grandparents. We also know that it's going to get a lot of attention. It's going to raise a lot of awareness. And it makes me wonder whether they are taking a leaf out of the Nancy Guthrie case. You know, even the smallest detail was something that also came up in the Guthrie case. Seeing little Gus on his bicycle, I can't help imagining another scenario. Could Gus have been injured by one of the animals on the farm? One of the sheep perhaps? Especially when sheep are lambing. Aren't the rams quite aggressive under those situations? In any event, I'm not going to take it further than that. I will be continuing to cover this story as new developments take place. If you're interested in my coverage, please make sure you subscribe. If you appreciate my coverage, you're welcome to hit the thanks button. For those interested in the Nick Reiner case, I'll be covering that case in more detail a little bit later today in a couple of hours. So look out for that. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.